What happened, Alan?
I didn't give you consent to report me.
What happened? Look, yeah.
What happened? Look what you do with your head.
I didn't give them any personal
I
consent.
think something is wrong. Something is wrong.
You have something is wrong.
I don't know.
You're wrong, my friend. What happened? It's not normal.
Don't record me.
No.
I
This
didn't
is
give.
free speech. This is my free speech.
No,
too.
no, no.
Thank you, my
You
love.
need
Thank you.
my permission to
No, you
record
don't.
yourself.
I'm on public land. This is public land. So you should stop harassing them.
I'm not
Yeah.
harassing
You're saying
them.
discriminatory
harassing
language.
them.
Why are you saying go back to your country? This is America. This country is for everyone. That is extremely racist. You are in New York City. I don't know where you're
Thank
from.
you.
This is a land for everyone. So your disgusting language needs to leave.
I didn't give any consent.
You're
to
on
record
public
me.
property.
I
This is
didn't
a
give any
public
consent.
side street. You deserve no respect because you're so
I
disrespectful.
didn't give any personal consent to
You're
record me.
victimizing all of us. I know, and that
You guys just saw him.
Close your mouth. Close
No,
your mouth.
no.
Close
It's
your
my
mouth.
freedom.
No, close your mouth.
No.
Piece of shit.
Please come. Can you get?
So I had some white colleagues ask me what I thought about Trump actually segregating whites and blacks. And I actually told them straight up, like, honestly, I would love that. Now, they looked at me like I was crazy and they almost spit up their almond milk. And I think they thought that maybe I was saying that out of hatred, but it really isn't about hatred. Here's the thing. I'm not talking about their version of segregation. See, I'm talking about our version of righteous separation, spiritual sovereignty, and black sufficiency. See, the truth of it is that integration was never about freedom. It was finesse. It was a system's way of saying, let's stop them from succeeding independently so we can profit from their brilliance directly. It was about control. And so I want us to be very clear about this. You know, we were never separate but equal. So that's a lie. We were separate and excelling. We had our own schools. We had our own banks. We had our own businesses. And baby, we were thriving. Black Wall Street, they burned it. Rosewood, they bombed it. Wilmington, they overthrew it. Why? Because we were doing too well without them and they couldn't handle that. And so that's the truth. They didn't really want segregation gone. They wanted control. This is why we know that integration was just repackage of chains. When we were separate, we actually were building and excelling. And when they saw that we could excel without them, then it was like, oh no, we got to take control and make sure that their labor is profiting us. So right around that time, they rolled out this whole standardized testing, ACT and SAT. Y'all remember that? They created this IQ ranking to measure their norms, not our brilliance. And then we were said we were behind when we really weren't. We were just building our own lane, not asking for theirs. See, I don't know about you all, but I'm kind of tired of the lies. It's very exhausting, you know, just the lies that continue to be promoted. And I want to talk about the melanin, because this whole thing that we're not smart enough, that we're not bright enough, is simply just a lie. And so, you know, all this testing that they're doing, and I have kids in school and they're made to feel that they cannot achieve. And I have to remind them about their actual superpower, melanin. See, not just your skin tone, but in your brain, specifically neuromelanin, that rich dark pigment found in areas like the substantia nigra, which are critical for learning and memory and decision making and emotional regulation. See, if you don't know, then you won't know how to respond. But when you learn about the studies that have actually linked the neuromelanin to higher concentrations and how it's related to enhanced memory and processing and higher intelligence and faster reaction times, then you know why they have hidden this information for so long, because when you have higher melanin, you have stronger brain resilience against degenerative diseases. So translation to that is melanin doesn't just make you glow, it makes you grow. So we know that it's not coincidental that people with more melanin have historically been creators, inventors, innovators across every discipline, while also being the most suppressed, because they know that the more melanin you have in your body and in your brain actually produces higher intelligence. So the Bible also says this too in 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verses 7. It says he placed treasures in earthen vessels. What treasures? It was in us all along, right? So we have more melanin, and we know that people with less melanin, because it's a recessive gene and it's a mutation, lack the same level of intelligence, of many different benefits that come along with that. What's so interesting about it is that we're supposed to be looking at this as if it's something negative. But why is it negative when every other cultural group does this? Group economics. See, the truth of the matter is they have stolen from us so many different things, and yet we still survive. And so I don't want to offend, but I have to be blunt here. When we invented it, they patented it. When we built it, they banked on it. So everything we created, they made sure they benefited off of it. Just like Louis Latimer. He actually developed the light bulb, but Edison got all the glory for it. And this has been going on through history. We know that Granville T. Woods laid the foundation for trains. Corporations got the contracts. Dr. Patricia Bath revolutionized eye surgery. The system licensed the tech. Black music became white record labels, billion-dollar industries off of our talent. Every time we create, they capitalize. We are the genius, but they control the royalties. It's quite interesting, isn't it? So when we talk about the facts and segregation, I want to be very clear. It's not racist. We have to understand the dynamics of this. See, the black dollar actually is the fastest running dollar in America. So let's do the math here. And I think it's quite funny. Black people have spending power over 1.6 trillion. But guess what? That dollar stays in our community just for 6 hours. While the white community, their dollar stays in their community 17 days. And guess what? Asian communities, it stays in their community 20 days. Jewish communities over 3 weeks. Why? Because we're systemically disarmed from owning what we build. And this is no coinky dink. The scripture said this would happen. So now our dollar does the labor, but the system collects the check. And this is why I support segregation on our own terms. See, that 400 years of slavery is over. And when I say that I want us to be segregated, I don't mean oppressed. I mean organize. Let's build black banks again. Let's educate our babies on the truth, not whitewashed lies. And let's support black farmers, black techs, black healing, black brilliance. And no, it doesn't mean I hate white people. No, it means I finally love us enough to stop begging for scraps from a table we built but never welcomed to. See, the Bible told us about this, yet we hop, skip, and jump over the fact that Deuteronomy 28, 43, and 44 already said it. It says, the stranger shall rise above you high, and you shall come down low. They shall lend to you, but you shall not lend to them. And this is exactly what has been happening for 400 years plus years. We built houses, businesses, schools, and they took them and taxed them to death. But beloved, there's hope, because Deuteronomy 30:3 also says, and Yah will turn your captivity and have compassion upon you, and will return and gather you from all nations. So yes, I welcome segregation, because restoration is already in motion. And I want y'all to understand this. We are not asking for more. We're building. See, we were never given anything from you all. I'm not asking to sit at somebody's table anymore. See, I'm trying to go along with scripture and build my people, gather my people, not because they are more melanated, but because we need to know that we serve the Most High and that He's going to take care of us, because separation was never our curse. It was our covenant. And now it's our strategy. It says to come out from among them, be ye separated. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17. So this isn't about racism. It's about us reclaiming what is already ours.
So I was just doing my little scrolling and judging. Y'all know me. And I've been seeing a lot of videos regarding Native Americans and how some of them are being deported. I seen one video where they found 4 illegal immigrants posing as Native Americans being deported to Mexico. And I'm noticing that even in some of the videos I've seen that there are Native Americans talking crazy about black people. And because now that I'm thinking, if Native Americans were the first to be here, right? Where were they when slavery took place? Because the first roundup of slaves didn't get to America until the 1600s, okay? Slavery ended in the 1800s. The Trail of Tears happened in 1830. I find it kind of odd that these colonizers would go all the way across the world to bring a whole group of people to a land that they are unaware of. They don't know anything about the agriculture here. They are unfamiliar with the weather. They have to relearn and retrain them on how to maintain the crops of that land when they already have a group of people here that they have just pretty much taken their land over. Because usually in history, when a land has been colonized or taken over by other people from another country, they usually enslave the people of that land who were there first. They don't just take that land and then just set those people aside who were originally there and then take a trip that probably took months just to go bring a whole group of new people over and retrain them on how to maintain the land. That doesn't even make a bit of sense. Then even when it comes to the 14th Amendment, it excluded Native Americans at first. No, seriously, the math ain't math. Slavery ended in the United States in 1865. Indian Removal Act, that was passed in 1830. Well, Indians didn't really lose their land until like the late 18th century, early 1900s. And even still, Native Americans weren't considered United States citizens until they passed the Indian Citizenship Act of 1924. So if Native Americans were the first people, why did they have to go through all of this shit to be considered citizens? Y'all wasn't even considered citizens until 1924, which means y'all didn't even get the rights to be considered citizens until after people who were brought from a whole nother country went through chattel slavery. Y'all didn't get y'all rights until after them. So,
hey y'all. So I have seen some creators say, you know, I know that Black people, we said that we were resting and that we're not going to protest out in the street and that we're not going to engage. But you have to realize that once they finish causing all of this chaos and going after everybody else, they're coming after Black people next. So we need to really become engaged. This is what I have to say in response to that. As a community, we are resisting. We are protesting. We're just not out in these streets. Y'all see what happened at that May Day protest. Who did the police arrest and haul away? And they were all Black. We instead are protesting with our dollars, choosing to patronize businesses and services that respect us whenever and however we can. That's why Target is in free fall, and so is Tesla. And also that's why Sinners has become one of the highest grossing original films that's come out of Hollywood in quite some time. This is an original IP from a black couple, Ryan Coogler and his wife, Zinzi Evans, that they produced from their production company, Proximity Media, that has an all-black cast. And as a community, we have shown out. It was mainly us that put that film at the top of the box office. And we are continually going to see it over and over again. We are showing the world that we have money that we spend. And when you disrespect us and disparage us, you're going to feel it. And the other thing about they may try to deport us next. When has this nation ever stopped fucking with black folk? I'll wait. Tell me when collectively has white America says, you know what, we're going to leave black folk alone for a while. We have always been targeted. We have always been oppressed and attacked constantly. So when folks get on here and say, we're next, when have we not been? When have we not been the target? Is situation normal? And I hate that there are many of us that underestimate us. We are still here. Despite the horrendous circumstances that we have had to exist in this nation, many of us are not only surviving, but thriving. And we are creating art. And every time it's appropriated, we create new forms of expression. Ryan Coogler and his wife, they are redefining the game. We are doing what we do. We're not just being idle. I don't know where this idea is coming from that we're being idle, because we're not out in these streets protesting, which is no longer effective, if it ever was, since the Civil Rights Movement. The only thing that protesting in the streets has ever gotten us is to be beaten and arrested and hauled off to jail, some of us injured and even killed. And it doesn't move the needle one iota. Look at April 5th and all the white folks that came out for their powwow that they called a protest, and that didn't do a single solitary thing. No, many of us, are understanding that money is the engine that makes this country go. And collectively, black people, we have a lot of it. So that's my response to people saying, well, you know, black people, we're going to be next. When have we not been on the hit list at the very top? Come on, y'all.